And this is the mugshot for Osceola County Sheriff Marcos Lopez. Right now, he's sitting behind bars in the Lake County Jail.
The FBI just slammed multiple dirty cops working with cartels in Florida, and what they uncovered should terrify every American. As you watch this, Sheriff Marcos Lopez sits in a federal cell facing 30 years in prison. His crime? Running a $20 million gambling empire while wearing a badge meant to protect his community. But Lopez wasn't working alone. He had partners, powerful ones. The Sinaloa cartel and CJNG had their hands deep in Florida's law enforcement, and the evidence proves it. Lopez's downfall started in 2019 when he was just a deputy hungry for campaign cash. He connected with Krishna, who controlled illegal gaming rooms across Lake County, and Kate, a Chinese businesswoman importing gambling machines. Together, they formed what prosecutors called a criminal enterprise disguised as legitimate business. Lopez put it in writing, texting Kate that once he won the election, she'd be safe because he'd be her sheriff. He won, and he delivered on that promise. The trio opened Eclipse Social Club in Osceola County. State officials found it packed with completely illegal slot machines and gambling devices. The club's TikTok page openly promoted gambling, calling itself a casino with fish tables and daily promotions. When rival operations got raided, Lopez didn't see justice being served. He saw competition eliminated. He texted Krishna during one raid saying they shut down that place and now it's ours. A sheriff celebrating the takedown of his own criminal competitors. Court documents reveal Lopez collected between $600,000 and $700,000 in cash. Not legitimate payments, but manila envelopes stuffed with bills delivered by Krishna himself. Lopez even negotiated his bribes in text messages, reminding Krishna about their agreement to pay him monthly starting December 1st. He handed Krishna an honorary deputy badge, turning a casino kingpin into someone who could flash law enforcement credentials. When deputies accidentally showed up at Eclipse Social Club, Krishna texted Lopez a photo in panic. Lopez reassured him everything would be fine because he controlled the sheriff's office. The FBI had been building their case since 2023, and when they moved hard. Krishna flipped first, surrendering nearly $1 million in assets and giving prosecutors everything they needed. Lopez was arrested, stripped of his gun and badge, and charged with racketeering. But investigators weren't done. 2.5 weeks later, they arrested his wife, Robin.
Tonight, the estranged wife of suspended Osceola County Sheriff Marcos Lopez bonded out around 7 o'clock tonight.
She ran a cleaning company that prosecutors say existed only to launder cartel money. Even after Lopez sat in jail, Robin kept making deposits tied directly to Eclipse Social Club. When confronted, she denied knowing anything, but text messages and bank records proved otherwise. While Florida dealt with a corrupt sheriff, the border was bleeding from a different wound. Customs and Border Protection Officer Manuel Perez Jr. spent years waving vehicles packed with undocumented migrants straight through El Paso checkpoints. No inspections, no questions. He was also moving cocaine, more than 5 kilograms across Texas, Louisiana, and North Carolina. In California, CBP officers Jesse Clark Garcia and Diego Bono used emoji codes to tell cartel smugglers which lanes to use. They let 1,100 pounds of fentanyl and methamphetamine roll into America, while they spent their cartel cash on Gucci shopping sprees and luxury vacations. At San Diego's San Isidro Port, the busiest border crossing in America, officers Farles Alonte and Ricardo Rodriguez took bribes to wave dozens of vehicles filled with migrants through without logging them. When Alonte was arrested, agents found $70,000 in cash at his home. His girlfriend was caught trying to smuggle contraband into Tijuana. Rodriguez had worked his way up from immigrant to federal officer, only to throw it away for cartel money. In just 2 years, 5 CBP officers in the San Diego area alone were charged with corruption. Leonard Darnell George got the harshest sentence of them all. The former border inspector went to trial instead of cutting a deal, and a jury found him guilty of accepting over $400,000 in bribes. He waved cars loaded with drugs and migrants through his inspection lane for years. The judge gave him 23 years in federal prison, sending a message that betraying your badge comes with consequences. But the corruption didn't stop. Operation Valley Takedown exposed Border Patrol agent Alexander Bennett Gindley for trafficking methamphetamine while on duty, directly working for the Sinaloa cartel during the hours taxpayers paid him to enforce the law. The response came from the sea. Operation Pacific Viper launched the largest maritime drug interdiction in Coast Guard history. Navy destroyers and Coast Guard cutters worked together across 3 weeks, intercepting 19 separate smuggling attempts. They seized 76,000 pounds of narcotics worth $473 million. That included 8,000 pounds pulled from a narco submarine off the Galapagos, 9,000 pounds near Mexico's coast, and 6,500 pounds seized south of Jamaica in a single day. 34 cartel operatives were detained at sea, skilled navigators and engineers the cartels can't easily replace. The operation deployed the USS Cole, a guided missile destroyer that Al-Qaeda bombed in 2000, killing 17 sailors. Now that same ship hunts cartels, launching helicopters that disable speedboats with precision fire. It's a symbol that America's wounds can become weapons.
Washington first on Fox. Homeland Security raids in St. Charles County shut down a popular restaurant.
Federal agents raided Golden Apple Buffet here in St. Peters off Mexico Road Tuesday.
In the dead of night, federal agents descended on a quiet stretch of St. Peters, Missouri, immediately storming the Golden Apple Buffet. Patrons arriving for dim sum were met instead by the roar of battering rams and the flash of tactical lights. Inside, agents found not only undocumented workers, but a tangled web of forged documents, hidden narcotics, and a network that spanned cities. What began as a local immigration raid would reveal a national scheme combining visa fraud, money laundering, and drug trafficking. Agents swept through both the restaurant and affiliated residential properties, discovering 20 people crammed into a single home. Some had been shuttled daily between homes and the restaurant in vans bearing out-of-state plates. In freezer units and back rooms, investigators uncovered stacks of fake driver's licenses, counterfeit passports, and green cards that appeared so legitimate they had passed state DBAS and DMV scrutiny. Those documents allowed individuals to travel, open bank accounts, and secure employment, all under false identities. Tracing the paper trail exposed shell companies set up under LLCs tied to the restaurant. The real owners hid behind corporate proxies. From Missouri, links led to laundering operations in Texas, document mills in California, and smuggling routes reaching all the way to China. The network's growth hinged on invisibility. Restaurants are never under heavy regulatory scrutiny. Shipments involving food move freely, and communities often stay silent out of fear.